According to the loudest voices on the internet, Trump just declared war on Catholics. But as we'll get into, this is nothing more than a straightforward policy decision and a total non-story. So a major story going around is Trump canceling an $11 million contract with Catholic Charities in Miami, coming off the heels of Trump's Truth Social attacks on Pope Leo. This has led to some wild claims online, like Christopher Hale with his Letters from Leo Substack acting like he speaks for the Pope, calling this an unprecedented violation of religious liberty, or Carrie Prejean Boller saying that this is the most anti-Catholic administration in over a century. These claims are insane, because the real story is nothing like what you're being told. Catholic Charities Miami had a federal contract to house unaccompanied migrant children, but under Trump, border crossings have fallen dramatically, so the need for that shelter capacity is gone. It's a routine policy to consolidate resources. It has nothing to do with the Catholic faith at all. And maybe most tellingly, they canceled this contract weeks ago. It's only a story now because Trump has been going after Pope Leo over his comments on the war in Iran. And look, Trump's comments to Pope Leo were correct on the substance. Leo's been a bit hypocritical with who he praises and what he chooses to speak on. But at the same time, he deserves some respect as the Pope, and Trump was wrong to go after him in the way that he did. But it's clear that bad actors are just now bringing up the Catholic charity story to drive a wedge between Trump and Catholics, to gin up the idea that Trump is anti-Catholic. But we know that that isn't true at all. J.D. Vance, Marco Rubio, and Tom Homan are all major players in the administration, and all are Catholic. Furthermore, very recent history shows us which political party is truly anti-Catholic. Let's start with the Obama administration. They attempted to force the Little Sisters of the Poor to pay for contraceptives for their employees. Contraceptives go against Catholic teaching. Sexual propriety is grounded in natural law, so anything that prevents natural law from taking place, like birth control, is off limits. But that didn't stop Obama from trying to make them pay for it, until the Supreme Court finally stepped in and ruled for the nuns. During the Biden administration, a leaked FBI memo directed officers to surveil Catholics attending Latin Mass parishes as potential domestic terrorists. And now let's go to the state level. One of my very first YouTube videos was about a law in Washington that would force Catholic priests to violate the seal of the confessional, a sacrosanct practice in the Catholic Church. We go to confession expecting that what we say there is between us and God. No matter how serious, the priest cannot tell anybody. Governments have long respected that, but now we're seeing a real push from progressive states to force priests to break that seal. And that's not all. Abortion is the obvious one where Democrats are anti-Catholic. They now want people to shout their abortion, but they also want to kill the Hyde Amendment. The Hyde Amendment is what prevents taxpayer money from funding abortions. Democrats want to kill that and openly fund abortions from your taxpayer dollar. If you thought that forcing the Little Sisters of the Poor to pay for contraception was insane, just wait until your dollar is directly killing an unborn child. Democrats will argue that they're pro-Catholic on immigration, but even that's debatable. As Tom Homan pointed out earlier this week, the horrors that migrants face as they make the trek to the border is evil.
Because if they wore my shoes for 40 years and talked to a 9-year-old little girl that multiple times, or stood in the back of tractor trailer with 19 dead aliens at my feet, including a 5-year-old boy that baked to death, if they understood the atrocities that happen on an open border, I think their opinion would change.
It is arguably more humane and more in line with Catholic teaching to have a secure border while facilitating legal migration. The only policy the Democrats could argue is more in line with Catholic teaching is the death penalty. On average, Republicans favor the death penalty more. But it's only Democrats who want to force you to fund abortion. Only Democrats who want to force priests to break the seal of the confessional. It's only Democrats who want to force people to violate their faith. So no, the Trump administration is not anti-Catholic, and the Republican Party is also not anti-Catholic. What this is, as I've said before, is people trying to weaponize their faith to push a preferred political end. Carrie Prejean hates Israel and therefore hates Trump, so she hunts for any faith-based angle to paint him as anti-Catholic. The hope is that you will also become anti-Trump and then support a political candidate who hates Israel. Christopher Hale is a former Obama and Biden aide, so he's just weaponizing your faith to make you hate Trump. The outrage is not real, and it's not based in fact. And no, I'm not saying that faith and politics are completely separate. Your faith should inform your politics. But God is truth, so your faith must be grounded in truth, and your politics should follow in truth. Anyone pushing obvious lies while cloaking their political disgust as faith-based outrage is not seeking truth. Don't let these people weaponize your faith with fake outrage. Stick to the truth because God is truth. That is what my channel has always been about, seeking the truth in politics, culture, and religion. Because as we seek the truth, in whatever it may be, we seek God. Because, once again, God is truth. Thanks for sticking around until the end. Subscribe and like the video for more honest analysis on politics, culture, and religion. I don't get into the performative outrage you get from so many online these days. If that resonates with you, subscribe and like the video for more, then head to my Substack to get the new releases emailed directly to you. With that, I'll see you next time. Thank you.